how exactly does the acting creep in? And I mean, it makes sense to me just without even knowing the answer already, because you're in LA, you're in the
Yeah.
music entertainment scene, but paint the picture, if you will.
Well, it was actually it was actually pretty funny. So I was in a band. I'd kind of, I by the time I was 15, I was pretty much taking care of myself and on my own.
Wow.
So I was in this band, and we were rehearsing at this kind of funky rehearsal studio that was just adjacent to an Army Navy surplus store near Vine and Santa Monica.
Okay.
It was kind of, I mean, it was cheap. That's why we went there.
Right.
But then one day we were there rehearsing in our room, and these guys came walking down the hall, and one of them kind of poked his head in, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey kid, you want to come? We're having auditions for a TV show. You want to come audition?" And I was like, "Yo, get away from me, you dirty old man."
Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking too.
Yeah, but it turns out it was totally legit.
It was legit.
And it was a children's television show for the Disney Channel called Kids Incorporated.
Mm.
And I was like, all right. I walked down there and I read some sides, and there was, you know, I didn't realize it because we were inside, but there was a line around the block of kids auditioning for this thing. So I went and auditioned, and I got it. And I didn't have like an acting agent or manager or anything like that. And so there it was. And I ended up doing this television show, and it was like, you know, movie camp over the summer, you know,
Right.
And we were performing, and then there was music in it. And, you know, so we would record the songs first, and then we'd do the show. And next thing I know, you know, a couple years later that I started having an acting career. So that's how it was.
It sort of stuns me just how many of these opportunities seem to come up when you're just in the right place and you're putting your intentions out there. I mean, but you must have been warned by people that if you're approached by these types of things, it can sometimes not be legit.
Yeah, there's all, I mean, look, especially, you know, when I was younger and doing a lot more music, I remember we had like, when I had like me, my friend Brittany Murphy, who sadly passed, our friend Haley Johnson, and our friend Brian Friedman, who's now a really accomplished choreographer. We had a kids singing group together. And I remember we had a couple managers who were just the snakiest of snakes you could imagine. I mean, I think back to like, we went on these, like, we did like these like mall tours. Like we'd go and perform in malls for other kids. And this dude, I remember there was one dude who was so like, he was
what types of things happened?
I remember one time I must have been like, I was like 14 years old. And we were like, I think we were in Spokane, Washington, and my parents weren't with me. The other kids' parents were. And so somehow I ended up with this manager guy in his hotel room, and he invited these girls back to his hotel room. And I'm 14.
Right.
And he's selling these girls. He's like selling them on like, yeah, Eric, don't you think they'd be great for the music video? And I'm like, music video? I don't know. Yeah. Sure. I didn't know what I was doing. I was like, oh my God. And thankfully, one of the other parents, just looking out for me, knowing that I was sort of on my own, was roaming the halls of this hotel and finally knocked on his door and found me. It was Haley's mom, Haley, who's still a dear friend of mine. Haley's mom, Nancy, came and was like, hey, come on, let's go. You're coming back to the room. I was like, right. Okay, well, but the girl, okay. So thankfully, you know, I was, you know, not
so these were girls like adult women, or these were
adult women? Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, that's a little bit of an odd scene.
It was, I had no business being there.
So, but you kept your head above water, so to speak, by having people sort of on the outskirts looking out for you, because that must have been a strange thing. I mean, is that even allowed now to have a kid working at 15 without their parents? I mean, in Hollywood, I probably not. No. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean,
the world, you know, the world has changed so much, and in other ways it has. I mean, all the same problems that exist today existed then. Wasn't that long ago. It was only 20 years ago. Right. So, you know, I had my fair share of shit that you know, but I you know, fortunately, you know, it made me who I am, and it's all worked out. It all worked out pretty well.